Hey everyone, this is Naren and welcome back to a new session of English with me. This is a new episode of How to Start Learning English. And today we are going to deal with one of the most important topic in English, that is tenses. Yes, if you know tenses, you know almost 80% of English grammar because English work with these tenses. Let's see how to learn these tenses easily. Like with a single sentence, I will explain each of the tenses. Tenses are the way of indicating when something happened in English. With the help of tenses, we can understand when did an action happen, like if it happened in the past, in the present, or it will happen in future. It helps us convey the timing of an event. So there are 12 tenses in English. It is divided into 3 parts like past, present and future. And each of these parts has one simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous tenses. Let's start with the present one. Present means something that is happening now. Now, this moment is present. So, as I told earlier, present has 4 categories. The first one is present simple tense. Present simple tense. What does it mean? It describes a routine or a general fact. These tenses can be more clear with examples. So, the first example is she works in an office. She works in an office. It's a routine. She works in an office. It's a fact. She daily works in an office. So, she works in an office is present simple tense. Now, let's look at the sentence formation in present simple tense. It is subject plus base form of the verb. Subject plus base form of the verb. What is base form of the verb? It means the basic or the simplest form of a verb. Now let's take the example of John and his English learning. We will talk about this John and his English learning journey in each and every tense. So here in simple present form we say like John learns English every day. John learns English every day. Learn is the simple form. We used S with it. John learns English every day. So this is simple, right? Now let's move on to the next one. Present continuous tense. It depicts or shows an ongoing action in the present. When we hear this definition, it's very confusing. What is this ongoing action, this? But just one thing, just understand the example. Just take a common example for each tense. Like I'm talking about John and his learning of English. Also understand the sentence formation. Then these tenses will be very easy for you. So present continuous means an ongoing action. It will be easy for you with an example. They are playing games. They are playing games. See, it's an ongoing action. They are playing. They did not stop it. They are playing games. The sentence structure is subject plus am or is or are plus verb in the ing form. It's simple. You need a subject and according to the subject you need to add am, is or are. You know where to use am, is and are, right? And if you have confusion, just watch this video. I have pinned it at the top. So, use am, is, are properly. Then you need to add a verb in its ing form. If it's play, you need to say playing. If it's cook, it's cooking. If it's look, looking. Walk, walking. Dance, dancing. Whatever verb it is, you have to use the ing form. Let's take the example of John. John is learning English. John is learning English. Now let's take the next tense. Present perfect tense. It indicates a completed action with relevance to the present. It's perfect. Perfect means it's done. Imagine like that. It's perfect means done. So the action is completed in this tense. Example, I have visited that city before. Visited. I already visited that place before. So it's a completed action. The sentence structure in this tense is subject plus has or have plus past participle. So the past participle means ed form of the verb. Subject plus has or have plus ed form of the verb. I have visited. See, along with the subject we used have. Have goes with I. So have visited. Visit, the ed form is visited. So I have visited that city before. A complete sentence is formed. Simple, right? You just need to understand these sentence structures. Now let's take the example of John. John has learned a lot of English vocabulary. John has, along with John, has is used. John has learned. Ed form of learn is learned. Past participle form of learn is learned. So John has learned. Now let's look at the present perfect continuous tense. See, the name is very large, but it's very small and simple. It expresses a continuous action which started in the past and it's still continuing in the present. Look at that word, that heading. Present perfect continuous. It's continuous. It's continuing. So this happened in the past but is continuing in the present. Let's look at the example. We have been studying for hours. We have been studying for hours. See, we started studying in the past and we have been studying. We started studying 2 hours back. Still we are studying. So it's continuing in the present. We did not stop now. We are continuing it. So it is present perfect continuous tense. This sentence structure is subject plus has or have been plus verb in the ing form. Subject plus has been or have been plus verb in the ing form. John has been learning English for several months. John started learning English in the past and still he is continuing it. So John has been learning, ing form of learning English for several months. Isn't this simple? We just completed the present part. We just finished the 4 tenses, the 4 present tenses. Now let's look at the past tense. So past is always talking about something happened before, not now, it already finished. It's a finished action. So past. So the first one in past is past simple. It's simple and it happened in the past. It narrates a completed action in the past. So it's simple. It's something that has already happened in the past. He finished his homework. Say a simple sentence. Now just think, how can the sentence structure be? Like just imagine, he finished his homework. Think about it. He is the subject. So subject plus finished. Finished is the verb. So it's the past form of the verb. So it's simple. The sentence structure is subject plus the past form of the verb. Last year, John learned English. So the next one is past continuous. It describes an ongoing action in the past. It happened in the past and it was continuing in the past. Let's take an example. She was singing all day. She started singing from the morning and she continued her singing. She was singing all day. The sentence structure is subject plus was or where plus verb in the ing form. Subject plus was or were, according to the subject you need to choose, plus verb in the ing form. While in London, John was learning English intensively. Now the next one, past perfect. Now you just need to listen to this very carefully. It is an action already completed in the past, before another past event. Was that a bit confusing? Let's look at an example. They had already left before we came. Look at this sentence. They had already left. I was waiting for them. I went there and I saw they were not there. They had already left. So it's a past action. Something happened in the past before this action. Now the sentence structure is subject plus had plus past participle. Let's look at John. Before moving to the US, John had learned English fluently. So here, before an event, like before moving to the US, John had learned English. Even that is past. He finished learning English before moving to US. So both the action happened in the past. So when something like that comes, we say the tense is past perfect. Now the next one is past perfect continuous tense. It depicts a continuous action that occurred before a specific point in the past. I'll give you an example. By 6 p.m., he had been working for 8 hours. So it's talking about the past. See, it's about a specific point. By 6 p.m., when the time is 6 p.m., his working period will be 8 hours. He had already been working for 8 hours. So it is about some action that is continuing in the past before a specific period of time. By the time John left US, he had been learning English for 5 years. So by the time he left US, that's a specific time, right? It's a specific point. Before that, John had been learning English for 5 years. Now the sentence structure in this is subject plus had been plus verb in the ing form. So this is about the past tense. We just completed the present tense and the past tense. Now let's look at our future. Let's look at the future tense. Actually, I don't know anything about my future. I'm confused. I will be successful in the future. I will buy a new car. I will buy a new home. I will talk to a lot of people. See, something that hasn't happened yet, something that has not happened yet is called future. Something is not happening now. This is present. The back time is past, and what is going to happen, something that is going to happen, is known as future tense. So the first one in future tense is future simple tense. It foretells future action. I will call you later. So anything that happens in simple form in future is future simple tense. The sentence structure is subject plus will or shall plus the base form of the verb. Let's take the example of John. Next month, John will learn advanced English. See, John did not learn advanced English yet. It will happen in next month. So next month, John will learn advanced English. Now the next one is future continuous. It tells about an ongoing future action. Example, they will be studying tomorrow. Actually, I'm not sure will they study or not, but they will be studying tomorrow. The sentence structure is subject plus will be plus verb in the ing form. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., John will be learning English in a class. It's about tomorrow. It's an ongoing action that will happen tomorrow. The next one is future perfect tense. It indicates completion of an action in the future before another event. Let's look at an example. By next month, we will have finished the project. By next month, it's a time. It will happen. By next month, we will have finished the project. It's an assumption that will happen next month. The sentence structure is subject plus will have plus past participle. Let's look at John's example. By the end of this year, John will have learned English grammar thoroughly. Now, why don't we talk about your example? By the end of next month, you will have learned English thoroughly. Now, let's look at the future perfect continuous tense. It describes a future ongoing action that will continue up to a specific point. Example, he will have been working here for an year then. So it's about a person who will have completed an year of working in this place. Then means it's a time period, it's a specific point. By then, he will have completed 1 year. Let's look at the sentence structure. Subject plus will have been plus verb in the ing form. At his graduation, John will have been learning English for 6 months. So it's a specific point at his graduation. And it's talking about an action that will be ongoing in the future. So it's about his English learning. John will have been learning English for 6 months at his graduation time. Hey, do you know one thing? We just completed the 12 tenses. So it isn't a great deal. It's not a very big deal to learn all these tenses, to by heart all of them. It's very simple. You just need to understand, you need to concentrate each of the tenses. Learn how each sentence is formed. Also, if you are a school student, obviously you need to learn each of the sentence structure and everything in detail. But if you are someone working in an office or who are learning English to speak English thoroughly, then what you have to do is you need to understand these tenses and start using them. If you are a student, you need to by heart all of this and you need to understand the grammar properly. You need to fill in the blanks with these tenses. But if you want to talk a proper sentence, to speak English properly, you need to understand it. You shouldn't by heart it. You need to understand it and start speaking your sentences with these tenses. Start using tenses in your sentences. You know where to use past, where to use present, where to use future. As I always say, start framing sentences that you can relate to your everyday life. Talk about your everyday life. Create a story from your surrounding. Use the tenses and create a story. I'll also do one thing that can help you learn the tenses more easily. I will explain each of the tenses each day, like in my shorts. Not in the long videos. In shorts, I will explain each of the tenses so that it will be more easy for you to understand about each one of them. We'll create a story and learn each tenses in each of the short. So, wait for those shorts and start learning English. And not only those shorts, you also need to watch this video completely. Watch till the end, and if you cannot understand it, watch this video again and again. Take out your notepad and copy down each sentence and start writing each of the tenses, like present simple, future simple. Write their sentence structure, write an example, and then write an example from your own experience, from your surrounding, something that happens in your daily life. So guys, I hope this video was helpful for you all. This is all about tenses. I'll be back with a new video soon. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Bye-bye.